Now, we have on the line with us Rupert Lowe, MP for Great Yarmouth. Now, you've been highly vocal on the issue of grooming gangs in the past, Rupert, so probably both of these stories don't come as a surprise to you?
Well, I've been a bit more than vocal, Jane. Good morning, first of all. I don't think I've ever been on your show, and I don't think we've actually met each other.
It's the first time I've done it, so...
So I know. So, yeah, so hello there.
Hello.
Yes, no, I've been a little bit more than vocal. We've actually, as you probably know, set up a rape gang inquiry, a crowdfunded inquiry, which 20,000 people have donated to, a total amounting to about 600,000, which, when you juxtapose that against the J report, which I think cost the taxpayer 186 million, we're making 5p do the job of a pound. But we are working our way through it. We've got a fantastic team. Sammy Woodhouse is leading that team. We've got our hearing, which is going to happen in February, and we should have our report out by the end of March, beginning of April, which will be a proper barrister-written, detailed report. And the findings so far are pretty horrific. So we previously identified that this vileness had been happening, and these are Pakistani Muslim rape gangs, largely 95% of them. Some of them are Bangladeshis, and there are a few from other Afghanistan and places like that. But predominantly, it's a Muslim issue. It is the exploitation of young, white, working-class English girls. And we now have identified it's happening in 137 areas, which actually means it's happening in far more towns and cities than that. So the government, as you know, we shamed them into having or stating they were going to have a statutory inquiry. So far, using my yardstick of watch what the hands are doing, not what the mouth is saying, nothing has really happened. In fact, we know nothing's happened because they're still issuing sort of statements which largely contain verbal baby food and verbal diarrhea. So there's been no action, and I don't think the state wants action because from what we're seeing, this is a national scandal. I think it's going to identify that the police, the social services, local government, the NHS, almost every organ of the state has been turning a blind eye to this blot on our history for nearly 25 years.
And what, purely for politically correct reasons, not wanting to sort of demonise?
I don't know the reasons, Jane. I suspect we now live in a society where, or we don't now, but I think we did for a long period of time, where people used to shout racism at every possible opportunity, and they used that to suppress the truth. People were frightened to actually deal with this issue because it probably does highlight that we've got a lot of communities across the country who haven't integrated with the rest of us. They don't respect our culture. They don't respect a lot of the things that we stand for. And yet the leaders of our country, and I put both the Tories and Labour in this category, have done precisely the square root of nothing, or diddly squat, to actually address the issues, to protect the decent citizens of this country. And indeed, they've allowed the whole basis of our culture and what we stand for to be undermined by this what I call undifferentiated, untargeted mass immigration, which has damaged the structure of Britain. And I think people can now see, this morning we came out from our house in London before I went to Parliament. My wife had her headlights stolen from her car, which apparently are being used to grow drugs. So Sadiq Khan has reduced London.
Well, that could be white people doing that as well. Just
of course, but I think it's probably part of the, Sadiq Khan has prevailed, in my view, over the decline of London. I used to live in London. It's not a shadow of its former self now. So. Look,
listen, obviously there's the old phrase, sunlight is the best disinfectant. And I really felt that we were sort of getting to the point where the grooming gang story was out in the open. We were all being honest about it. We were getting somewhere. Then obviously the government inquiry fell at the first hurdle. The victims didn't trust it. They spent all those years not being listened to. And then again, they felt unsupported, which I find astonishing that they were made to feel that way. It defies belief. And now, of course, we've got a story this morning. School governors have been encouraged to dismiss concerns about grooming gangs as disinformation. It's still going on.
Well, it's happening everywhere, Jane. So our plan, and we're going to write a very hard-hitting report. We're not going to pull any punches. We're going to expose everybody. And ultimately, if we have some money left or people feel inclined to crowdfund further, we are intending to take private prosecutions out against those people who we think have perpetrated the worst failures in terms of protecting people they're supposed to be looking after. So we're on the warpath, and we are, when the government announced they were going to have a statutory inquiry, a lot of people said to me, you should stop yours and return the money. Let me reiterate, we are not going to stop ours because the government doesn't want an inquiry. This is a stinking, festering stain on our entire country. And as you say, it has to be outed, it has to be put into the sunlight, and it has to be disinfected. And if we don't do that, we can't really move on.
And very quickly, just on the other story about grooming house there, human error may have led to grooming gangs investigations being dropped. Is that feasible?
I think it's complete poppycock, and our, I think this is people getting nervous about what's rattling down the track. But from what we can see, this is an endemic problem. As you probably know, the intention was to silo the investigation into a few places. This is happening everywhere, Jane. This is a national scandal of immense proportion, and if people don't stand up and face up to it, then it's never going to be resolved. So we really need to all collectively, as you say, shine the light on this one and disinfect it.
Rupert Lowe, MP for Great Yarmouth, thank you very much for joining me this morning. I am back after this.